Hello everyone, welcome back to Learn Russian with Learn Russian. So we are continuing the participle theme in this video. We're up to lesson 64. This is about passive past tense participles. Um, Before we start this, I'd like to take us back into the past. I'd like to actively take us back into the past for a moment. And remind us of lesson 58, where we saw sentences such as Санкт-Петербург был построен Петром I. If you remember this lesson, the point here was that the basic sort of past tense passive is built using the verb был, which basically means was, dom был, the house was, and then построен, дедушкой. So what we're seeing here is the instrumental form of these nouns. So basically, the object was and then verbed through the instrumental form of the subject or the active thing that did the action. So the house was built by the grandfather, for example. Дом был построен дедушкой. Дедушка is a grandfather, but дедушкой is the instrumental form. I mention this because the past tense participles basically work the same way. Город построенный на реке Неве. Okay, this is probably a bad example because there's no person doing it here. So this is the city that was built on the river Neva, which is, of course, St. Petersburg. That's the city on the river Neva. But basically, what we're going to see in this lesson is pretty much the same thing. Ужин приготовленный мамой. So мамой is the instrumental form of mama. And so what mama did, the thing was done through mama. Mama was the instrument, and so in her instrumental form, mama becomes mamoy. So we're going to see that continuing in this lesson. It's basically the same thing. It's just here we're using a participle instead of the word bill. So let's go ahead and look at the first dialogue. This is a dialogue between a journalist and a художник. And yeah, I think I mentioned just a couple lessons ago, they were using the word artist instead of the more usual word художник for an artist. As I said back then, I believe художник is a painter. So, an artist in the sense of a painter is a художник, but a more general performance artist, somebody who doesn't necessarily paint but makes, an artist, like kind of like an entertainer in that sense, is just an artist. There's no native Russian word for, or indigenous Russian word for that. So let's go ahead and see what the journalist and the художник have to say.
Здравствуйте, Борис Михайлович. Недавно картина, выставленная вами на аукцион, была куплена за $3 миллиона. Это ваш рекорд?
Нет, это не рекорд. Картина, написанная мной 20 лет назад, недавно была продана за $4,5 миллиона.
А где вы работаете?
Я работаю в загородном доме, построенном еще моим отцом. Там красиво и тихо, ничто не мешает мне работать.
Скажите, а вы сами покупаете картины других художников?
Картины не покупаю, а вот скульптуры я покупаю с удовольствием. Вот эта небольшая скульптура, купленная мной в Амстердаме, особенно мне дорога.
А почему?
Эту скульптуру сделал мой друг, поэтому я и купил ее.
Okay, fair enough. So there was no joke or sudden twist ending here, as far as I can tell. It's just a fairly normal conversation. Okay, so let's go ahead and translate and fill in the blanks. So the journalist says,
Здравствуйте, Борис Михайлович.
so hello, Boris Mikhailovich.
Недавно картина, выставленная вами на аукцион, была куплена за $3 миллиона.
Aha. So what's the word that was in the blank here? The word here was написанная. So painted. So this is basically a past participle form, meaning let's see. Actually, no, it's not. Hold on. No, that's the wrong word. Написанная is the wrong word. That's not the word that he put in here. Sorry. I am mistaken. The word that he put in here was выставленная. There we go. That's the word that he put in here. And выставление, as I understand it, means to put up for auction, right? Just make sure that that's correct. Oh, I guess it means revealed. Okay, so it's right, so it's the painting that you revealed. Okay. So, right, okay, so this whole phrase here means you put it up for auction. Right, okay. So, недавно картина, so recently the painting, выставление вами не auktion. So auktion is, of course, an auction, in this case, an art auction. So he put it up for auction. Выставление is the past participle form, and then вами is the instrumental form of вы. So, which you recently put up for auction. Было куплено за $3 million. So here he doesn't use a participle form. He says было куплено, so was bought, for $3 million.
Это ваш рекорд?
Is that your record?
Нет, это не рекорд.
No, it's not a record.
Картина, написанная мной 20 лет назад, недавно была продана за $4,5 миллиона.
Okay, so the painting, here I believe he said написанная, right? I think here he said написанная. Картина написанная мной, so написанная is the past participle form of painted, and мной is the instrumental form of me, so it was painted through me. So the picture, or painting, which was painted through me 20 лет назад, 20 years ago, недавно было, recently was, продана was sold, so was recently sold, за $4,5 million. So $4.5 million. So in English you'd say $4.5 million. Here in Russian it's $4.5 million.
А где вы работаете?
And where do you work?
Я работаю в загородном доме, построенном еще моим отцом.
Aha, okay. So I work in a out of the city house. So Zagorod is like sometimes it's the suburbs, but here I think it means more like out of the city, outside of the city. So I live in a home outside of the city. Построено еще моим отцом. So построенном, past passive participle of built, so was built. Моим отцом, instrumental form of my father. So I live in a out of the city home that was built by my father.
Там красиво и тихо.
There it is beautiful and peaceful.
Ничто не мешает мне работать.
So nothing can stop me from working.
Скажите, а вы сами покупаете картины других художников?
Say, do you yourself buy paintings from other painters?
Картины не покупаю,
I do not buy paintings.
а вот скульптуры я покупаю с удовольствием.
But sculptures I buy with enthusiasm, удовольствием, with gusto, or with enthusiasm. Yes, so I buy sculptures with enthusiasm.
Вот эта небольшая скульптура, купленная мной в Амстердаме, особенно мне дорога.
Aha, okay. So, купление мной, so was bought through me. Here is a small sculpture bought by me in Amsterdam, which is, I believe this means this is dear to me. Дорога typically means expensive, but I believe here he means not dear as in expensive, but dear as in it's dear to my heart.
А почему?
And why?
Эту скульптуру сделал мой друг, поэтому я и купил ее.
This sculpture was made by my friend, and for that reason I bought it. Okay. Pretty straightforward. So yeah, so I think the idea is already clear. This is pretty much what we were doing in the previous, I think it was lesson 58. It's really just a slightly different form because instead of using bill something, we're just using one word, which is a past passive participle form. Okay, one more dialogue. This appears to be a relatively short one between a жена and a муж, a wife and husband.
Почему ты не носишь ботинки, купленные 2 недели назад?
В инструкции сказано, что первый месяц ботинки могут жать.
Понятно. А что это у тебя на столе стоит?
Это шкатулка, сделанная мной для тебя.
И когда ты ее сделал?
На работе.
Оригинальная у тебя работа.
I have to confess, I don't quite understand the ending here, whether is that supposed to be a joke? Because the woman sort of says it with a hint of amusement in her voice as if she thinks it's funny. But maybe she's displeased. I don't know. So the woman says...
Почему ты не носишь ботинки, купленные 2 недели назад?
So, we only have 2 words to fill in here. It's a pretty short dialogue. So, почему ты не носишь ботинки? So, why you do not wear the boots... купленные 2 недели назад, which were bought 2 weeks ago.
В инструкции сказано, что первый месяц ботинки могут жать.
So, in the instructions, it says that the first month, the boots can жать. What is жать? Let's actually go to Wiktionary and take a look at this here because... No, not in Kyrgyz, in Russian. So I guess here the third definition is relevant. To pinch, to hurt, to be tight, as in shoes, for example, being too small. So I guess, okay, the boots can jat, they can be too tight. I can understand that, but I don't think that you can get around that problem by not wearing them. I believe that they stop being too tight when you wear them because your feet kind of stretch them out. But what do I know? I'm not a tailor. Cobbler. I'm not a cobbler. I don't know anything about shoes. So maybe the shoes just magically adjust themselves to your feet even when you're not wearing them. Maybe that's how shoes work, or boots, or at least these boots. These are magic boots that stop being too tight for your feet even when you don't wear them. What do I know? Okay.
Понятно.
Understood.
А что это у тебя на столе стоит?
And what do you have standing on the table?
Это шкатулка, сделанная мной для тебя.
So, it is a шкатулка. What is a шкатулка? It's a kind of box, but I don't really know exactly how to define it other than to say it's a box, but there's a more general Russian word for box. So шкатулка sort of means... Yeah, it means a casket, a small box, a case, or a jewel box. So something like this is a шкатулка. Okay. So it is a шкатулка made by me. So again, сделанная мной, instrumental form of me. So сделанная мной, made by me, для тебя, for you.
И когда ты ее сделал?
And when did you make it?
На работе.
At work.
Оригинальная у тебя работа.
So I don't quite understand what she means here. You have the original at work? Or does she mean you have originality, like creativity at work? I don't quite understand. Or is she saying it's a knockoff copy of something? Like, is it like a fake? Did he make it as a fake copy of something? I don't know. Don't quite understand that last line, to be honest. Sorry. Anyway, okay, so here we go. So here's the basic principle. Книга, написанная молодым автором, мне очень понравилась. So the book, which was written through the young author, pleased me a lot. That's the same sentence as книга, которую написал молодой автор. So which the young author wrote. But here it's the past participle form, and so you use the instrumental form for the person who did it, the молодым автором in this case. There is, of course, as usual, a much more extensive documentation here on how to form these, and I'm not going to dwell on these too long. It says to remember, but to be honest, I'm not going to remember these. Not right now, anyway. Okay. Какой суффикс? Н, yin, yon, или te? So, what do we use to fill in these blanks here? Well, that's a good question. Let's go ahead and set this straight right now. The first one is NN. So, деньги, заработанные за месяц. The money which was earned in a month. Дверь открытая вовнутрь. The door which opened to the interior. So the door which opened inwards, or the door which was opened inwards. Друзья встреченные на улице. The friends which were met on the street, or outside, because na ulice literally means on the street, but it also just generally means outside in Russian. Диплом написанный за ночь. The diploma which was written in the night. I'm not sure if this means like a diploma thesis which was written in the night, or does it mean that they printed the person's university diploma at night because it's a fly-by-night university? Don't know. Роман прочитанный недавно. The novel, or a novel, which was read recently. Контракт подписанный днем. The contract which was signed in the daytime, during the day. Встреча организованная коллегой. The meeting which was organized through a colleague, through a female colleague apparently because of the oi ending. Доклад, which is a report. Доклад напечатанный на 3 листах. A report printed on 3 sheets of paper. Товар произведенный в Китае. So a product which was manufactured in China. And finally, часы подаренные другом. A clock or a watch given as a gift from a friend or by a friend. So there you go. Various formations of various past participle forms of various verbs in Russian. But it goes on. So here again we have rephrasing. So we have the form using the basic past tense of the verb, for example, построил. But how do we turn this into a past passive participle form? Well, let's do that now. So, for example, the дом, который построил Джек, is the дом построенный. And then we need the instrumental form of Джек here, which is Джеком. You are a Джеком. So yeah, the house which Jack built. House built by Jack. Presumably the original nursery rhyme and not the more recent film by Lars von Trier. Or maybe it is the film from Lars von Trier, except I think that movie came after. I think that movie came out after these lessons had already been made, so it's probably referring to the original nursery rhyme about the house that Jack built. Okay, встреча, которую организовала компания. So a meeting which was organized by the company is a встреча. I'm going to copy this just to save on typing a bit. is the встреча организованная компа- ком- компания. Oh, wait, no. No. It's must be instrumental form. It must be compagnie. There we go. Instrumental, yes. Okay. Вещи, которые забыл пассажир. The things or the stuff which were forgotten by the passenger. So the stuff which the passenger forgot. That is the вещи забытые пассажиром. Because пассажир is masculine. Президент, которого избрал народ. The president who was voted or elected by the nation or by the people is the президент избранный народом. Закон, который принял парламент. The law which was introduced by the parliament or passed by the parliament is the закон принятый парламентом. Okay. Книга, которую ты взял в библиотеке. The book which you loaned or borrowed from the library is the книга, взятая тобой в библиотеке. The book which was loaned through you in the library. Новая планета, которую открыли астрономы. So the new planet which was opened, not opened, but like published, or not published either, but publicized, let's say, publicized by astronomers. Новая планета открытая астрономом. Sorry, no. Astronomami. There we go. Astronomami is the instrumental form of astronomers. Okay, программа, которую я написал. The program which I wrote is the программа написанная mной. Okay, continuing the technology theme is the notebook. Must be, I'm pretty sure this is a notebook computer because tetrad is a paper notebook. So a notebook must be a notebook computer or laptop computer. Notebook, который ты сломал, the laptop which you broke, is the notebook сломанный тобой. Notebook which was broken through you. And finally, город, который основал князь, the city which was founded by the prince, is the город основанный князем. There we go. Hey, how about that? I typed everything right the first try. City which was founded by or through the prince. Okay. And finally, we just simply form passive past participles from the given verbs here. So the first one is izuchit, to study, right? That's, unless I'm greatly mistaken, that is to study. Just quickly make sure. Oh, and I am having a small internet crisis here, as happens frequently. Okay, this should work now. Yeah, it's izuchit. Let me look this up on Wiktionary because I think it's worth, yeah, to learn, to study. Okay. Okay. All right, learn, study, pretty straightforward. All right, so what's the passive past participle of izuchit? It is изученный. Изученный. Закрыть, to close. Passive past participle is закрытый. Взят, to take. Didn't we have this here already? Yeah. Ты взял в библиотеке. Okay, so here it means more like to borrow something, but I think взят doesn't necessarily just mean to borrow, does it? Взят means, okay, to take. Okay, so it's more generally to take something. Okay. Взят. What is the past participle form? The past participle form is взятый. Продать, to sell. Past participle form is проданный. Приготовить, to prepare something or to prepare food, most typically. Приготовленный. Сломать, to break something. We had this one already as well. Сломанный. We have this just... Yeah, here we go. Yeah, сломанный. Notebook сломанный тобой. So yeah, there we go. Сломанный. Broken. Or was broken. Записать, to write down. Past participle form is записанный. Образовать, to educate. Past participle form was educated is образованный. Создать, to make or create. Созданный. And finally, построить, to build. Was built is построенный. I appear to have made a mistake. How could this happen? Let's see, what did I do wrong here? Приготовленный looks right. Сломанный, yes. Oops. There we go. There we go. Записанный, not записанный. Записанный, there we go. Okay, so I made one typo, but otherwise this should be, to the best of my knowledge, correct. These are the past passive participle forms of the given verbs here, given in their infinitive form. Okay, and that was it. And at the end we have just a cool down exercise. Let's go ahead and see what we have here. Я никогда не был в городе, so I never was in the city. built on the river Neva. So the question is, what is the correct answer here? Построенном. Yeah, that should be correct here. So just мы идем в город. So now we are going into the city. Built on the river Neva. That's построенный. 400. How do you say 400 in Russian? I actually don't know the exact. Let's see. How exactly do you say 400 in Russian? 400. Okay. 400 лет назад не было этого города. So 400 years ago, there wasn't this city built on the river Neva. That's true. St. Petersburg is a relatively new and young city by comparison, compared to some other cities in Russia like Moscow. Построенного на реке Неве. В России есть немало городов. So in Russia, there are a few cities built on the river Neva. That's построенных на реках. Oh, okay, here they just want you to say on the river. So in Russia, there are several cities built on the river. Приятно гулять по городу. So, hold on, what is this saying? This is saying, yeah, приятно, it's pleasant. It's pleasant to walk around the city that was built on the river Neva. Построенному на реке Неве. Okay, and finally, есть много легенд, связанных с городом. So there are many legends about the city построенным на реке Неве. There we go. That was lesson 64. I feel like it was a little shorter than the other lessons in this series, but I hope the sentence is clear. Again, it's pretty much a repetition of the subject of past tense forms, just using participles this time instead of a verb like был. So that's it. Let's go ahead and quickly review the lesson. Here is the first dialogue. Here is the second dialogue, a very short one. Here are the answers to exercise 3, задание 3. Here are the answers to задание 4, задание 5. And then number 6 is all about the city on the river Neva. Okay, that was it for now. I hope I'll see you folks next time. In the next lesson, it will be more about participles. Oh boy. I hope I'll see you in lesson 65. Until then, thanks for watching, folks, and bye for now.